Hello and welcome. Let's get on with it. In today's tutorial, we are going to cover lighting, which is very important in interior designing. And if you stick till the end, I'm going to show by creating this entire scene, of course, only the lighting effect, which you see from the curtain. Now into the 3D plan that we've already created, we will only be focusing on the lights. Let's have a look on the area that we'll be focusing. The furniture that you see here, some of it has been created by myself, but mostly it's been imported through a blend file, which the amazing 3D artists out there who take out the time to create all of this. Now the lighting are going to be the main focus. I've installed 4 cameras in the scene to capture 4 different angles of this main area that I've modeled, just to see how different lighting affects the different areas of the room. Now this is the setting that I've used. The lighting, this is the color which you see of a warm yellowish color. The power I've selected is 35 watts. Of course, it's totally up to your choice, but you need to make sure that you don't light up the scene too much. This light in the corridor is slightly of different parameters, all to your liking, but for now we're just going to focus in the living room and the little dining and the kitchen which we've created. And at the end I'll be showing you how we can make the scene where light is going to be coming from the curtain that you see. Now I will also show you how we can create the lights, which lights I have used, and how you can make it of that specific shape that you see, which is a rectangular one. So just having a full look of the scene, I think I will turn on the shortcut keys, as by pressing numpad 0 you can jump into the camera view, the one that is active. Of course, you know by now the black triangle on the camera means that's the active camera. I'm just going to turn on the shortcut keys because we will be doing a small modeling which is required for the scene for the end. Now that's how you render out the image. Of course, you're using Eevee, is going to straight away generate the image, which is a real-time engine, and it's a life-saving render engine because it saves a lot of time. Now let me create the light that I've used straight away from Shift A, mesh, no need for the mesh, light and area light. Import that. Let's bring it up by G and Z axis, and then you can scale it and turn it into a rectangle. It changes the profile of how the light is going to fall over the objects that you have in your scene. It's a personal preference actually. You can keep it as a square, but I like the profile when it is in a rectangular shape. And you can always play around with the right strength according to your scene. Of course, you need to keep in mind keeping it too dim or not to keep it too bright, because a light can either make or break your scene. It's a famous clause that goes into the interior designing. Now let's model the light that comes behind these curtains. You will need these are curtains which are made by Blender Guru. I'll be linking this in the description, because without it, if you use your regular curtains, it will not allow the light to pass through. So you can see we have booleaned out the window pane. We're going to import a plane here, rotate this, making it into a reflective, making it into a light emitting surface. We will scale this to fit the right size of our window pane and give it the impression of daylight, a sunny day where the light is coming in from the window pane. I'm just gonna make it into a rectangle, bring it to the right location, scale it by the S, and then I'm gonna add materials to this from the shading tab, new material, delete the principal BSDF, and we'll import an emission shader which will help it to emit light. Let's connect this to the output. We're gonna pump up the strength to 5, and the color we're gonna keep it as it is. Won't be changing that. Let's go into the layouts tab, and of course, since we are in the Eevee render engine, we won't be seeing much of a change unless we see the object which is right in front of us. But you can see it doesn't make any difference, a major difference at all actually, until we change the render engine from here to cycles. Immediately it will start processing all the lights which are going to pass through. It's going to take a long time. That's one of the setbacks of cycles. Otherwise it's a really good render engine, but the only thing is the amount of time that it takes. You can see I did a little bit time lapse there, because Eevee is just one of it is the favorite render engine of mine. It helps you to save a lot of time. Now there you can render out the image from there, and I'm going to fast forward this, and thank you for watching. This is the scene that you're going to create, and you can see the light effects that you see can only be achieved if you're using Cycles render engine. Up until now, Eevee is still working on it, and I believe in the very near future Eevee is going to be generating very much similar results as compared to Cycles, because Eevee is a real-time engine. In the end, I'm going to attach another image that we might be covering in the next tutorial if we get enough requests, which is going to be basically a full 3D plan, and we will be importing in all the furnitures that you see here. We will create all the walls by, of course, using ArchiMesh, and I will be attaching all the furniture files, of course, which is free. And a big thank you to all the 3D artists who take out the time to make and model these amazing furniture assets and give it to all of us for free. Thank you for watching. Once again, stay tuned. Toodles.